Hello to Drayson, Air Joey, and today we are doing a director's commentary on Sensei Nicker in Training. This is a fan film that is made to be like a alternate universe prequel story to Sensei Nicker, another short film series that's also on the indie budget by some guy called Batmanik. And the reason why you probably can't hear the volume that much, or at all, is because, it's because, I figured, it'll be better if you can hear me more rather than the movie, because, this is a documentary, not like a movie, right? Well, I mean, you are watching the movie with me. So, these intros right here are, they're based on the intros of Sensei Nicker's, like the Sensei Nicker movies, where it'll be like a parody to like high budget film studio intros. So I just wanted to do that to show a little appreciation to the original movies, and I thought it was a cool excuse to finally use those videos. So we get a cool little intro monologue by Jake, one of my closest friends on the Red Blue Films cast. And he does this cool little narration I asked him to do. It was pretty cool. And if you haven't seen this already, just go watch it your own before you watch this. It's probably worth your time. I don't know. But anyways, hold on, let me turn the volume down a little bit, just in case. Don't mind the volume bar there. The reason why I say watch the movie first is because I think you can, like, barely hear it compared to what I'm saying. So it's recommended you watch the movie first so you can understand what the dialogue is said in the movie before you actually watch this. But, anyways, this background image right here, this is from Happy Feet, from, the Tap Dancing Penguin movie. It's like the first background you see in like, they're in space and stuff. I wanted to show that because it kind of feels fitting. Because in my mind, I wanted to intro this movie to feel like a false sense of the vibe of what the movie is. Like, I want the intro to feel like here, like, ooh, it's gonna be this awesome ninja movie. We're gonna get a legit awesome, like, not sillyified or not ridiculous, like, Sensei Nicker movie. But in reality, it is even, like, more ridiculous than all the three movies combined. And you'll see that here in a second. There's, like, a sudden transition, from dramatic epicness into my foot, my pants, my jeans, and my sniffles. And then I'm doing a little walking stride here. Like, I wanted this movie to be quirky and like socially awkward on purpose. Kind of, if that's the right way to say it. Like, I just wanted to go, like, full out on this movie, because that's what I feel like the Sensei Nicker, like, humor is like. Here I tried to do, like, a funny little, cutaway gag thing, but I feel like it didn't, like, sell the joke as much as I wanted it to. My character design choices, or, like, dressing up designs for, the father here was like a last minute option. I knew I needed a father character, but I wasn't gonna have my actual dad, like, as the dad. I know that would have been more authentic, but, like, that's kind of, like, predictable and not as ridiculous. So that's why I got the idea, hey, what if I just did every single character for the movie? You know what I mean? So I thought this is just like a last minute design. Like, I thought, hey, it'll be cool if I made myself look like a Florida man dad who's, like, shirtless and all, or something, and has, like, a hoodie, like, tied around his neck, like a funky, like, cape or something, I don't know. And then he's got the iconic, like, aviator glasses, which I guess symbolizes, like, authoritarian power or something like that. That I guess some fathers have the vibe of, if you get what I mean. Over their kids. not my dad, but like a lot of like dads to their kids are like that. Like they're very drill sergeant like, and that's the kind of vibe I was kind of going for him. To a degree, at least. I mean, he has some ridiculous moments, but you know. And every single, almost every single scene, I actually raged at behind the scenes because I had to do like a ridiculous amount of takes for almost everything. Like every single like almost every single scene in this movie is like either at least the 4th to 7th take. Apart from this scene and the part where Nick is walking through the woods, other than that, they've been shot multiple times. Even the parts that look like they're improvised, they were actually planned because I wanted to give this movie like the like feeling that I wanted to give this movie the like the humor of like something that's not supposed to happen. So like let's say there's like you're watching a movie, right? Or like a movie that's made by like some kid or whatever, and they make like a mistake, obvious mistake in a video that they probably wouldn't notice until like 5 years later or something like that. I want to intentionally put something like that everywhere in the movie. You know what I mean? So it was made to look like it had a lot of, like, obvious, like, mistakes in it that are funnier than the actual joke intended. But in reality, that is the joke itself. So if you see a mistake in this movie, there's, like, a pretty good chance it was very intentional. Or, like, any, like, quirky thing. The dialogue, it was all intentional. But well, most of the dialogue was, like, not scripted. The only scripted dialogue was, like, during, like, the ending boss fight with, Nick and his dad, like, at the very end. And some of the dialogue that was planned was, like, during, like, like, everywhere after, like, Nick became, like, a bloodlusty evil or something like that. Not all of it was, planned, but some of it was. Basically, all the action and all the movements were planned, like, as I was filming the scenes. Like, they weren't planned from the beginning, but they were planned as I was filming that particular scene. And then I would do, those things in later takes, which would later be the final cut. But for dialogue, it would just be, like, different every time I recorded, because it was all improv. Like, 90% of this movie is just improv dialogue. Toward the end, I thought about, like, having, like, a whole, like, a tie around to that random branch Nick got, but that was during the time I was like, I'm running out of time, I don't want to do that, so I just kind of uploaded the movie as it is. I could have added or tweaked a few more things here and there, but I was really tired of, like, waiting for this thing to get uploaded, because this film, like, should have, like, came out half the time than it did, but from scripting to final release was only a week and a half, so I guess there's not much to complain there, but the whole project, when I was, like, editing it, it just felt like a lot, you know what I mean? It felt like it was taking a longer time than it actually was. There's clout. What's funny is, that, the Sensei Nicker team, like, Nick, Aaron, and, was it Victoria, I think her name is, they all, told me that, they all collectively told me that I pretty much got, like, clout spot on as a character, and that wasn't intentional. That was just me, like, that's just how I act sometimes. Like, I guess I just naturally act like clout the most in real life, I don't know, cause, like, I don't know if you see this, but to me, I see myself in my movies as, like, just me. I don't think my portrayal of, like, characters is, like, ever, like, perfect or anything like that. I think it's only, like, a mild degree to what those characters would act like, with most of it being how I would act if I were that character in that scenario, if you know what I'm saying.
Her name was Cloud
There's a lot of words right there. I filmed this scene, before I, figured out what Clout's name actually was, because for some reason, I always thought Clout's name was Cloud, and not Clout. So, this scene was recorded before, I, asked, Nick, Batman Nick, what his name was, and then he corrected me, it was, Clout, so then I added, that correction, like, name dialogue in a later scene when, Nick and Clout are fighting. I'm ready for anything. There were, some obvious parts in the movie where I was, like, too far away from, like, the camera or the phone for the audio to pick up that much, so I had to just, like, in post-production, like, upscale the volume or decrease the volume in some areas, but mostly upscale. But in the end, it still sounds kind of quiet, like, right here. Like, when this Sensei is talking, the older Sensei, the Master Sensei is talking, like, no matter what I did, it just sounded kind of quiet, but some things you can't control in editing, you know what I mean? This right here is a pretty much, an anti-kill yourself thing. An anti-KYS thing. Because, you know, we're against all of that. And I personally think ending your own life is a really, really bad thing. Don't do that, kids. Don't do that. You gotta find what makes you happy, because you can do it. I didn't notice this until editing, but there was just, like, a random, like, bee just, like, chilling nearby. I was kinda, like, interfering with the... Actually, no, I did notice. Like, if you look closely in the movie, you can see, like, where... When I was playing the older Sensei, you could see me, like, staring at the bug for a second.
Okay. Alright. I'm assumed by all of you.
I thought there would be a bit more to talk about. There actually isn't. Oh yeah, so, this shot coming up was, the reason why it looks laggy is because, it's, obviously, like, edited, and why I did, so, that, I don't have a twin or anything like that. That is me, but also me in the same frame of shot. I did that to, make it more immersive and more convincing that, it wasn't, like, I wanted to, do an opposite fourth wall break. I want to make people more immersed into the characters. So, like, the more you got used to, like, seeing me playing all characters, the more you get used to it, and the more you get more immersed into it and see them as separate characters and not just me as, Joey myself. You get what I mean? Because, in reality, it really is just me wearing different clothes I had that I wear every single day. Yeah. There's a battle happening here. Shuffleboard! I was gonna say something about, oh yeah, how I did the multiple me in the frame thing. I did the same effect for the latest part in Disc 19, number 5. So what I did is, in my editing app, I basically took, so I had the video recording, like, and the camera didn't move in between, like, takes while the video was still recording. I would switch out my clothes into, different characters. So... let's say in the first take, I'm Sensei, the older Sensei, like pointing Nick toward the trampoline, and then walking away. And then I walk away from the set, or the scene, sorry, but the phone is still recording, so the camera doesn't accidentally move, so it's just as still as it can get. Then I come back from another direction, dressed up as Nick, later Sensei Nicker, going towards the trampoline, and I do my flexing muscle pose thing. Then what I did is I basically split both videos down the middle in editing so they perfectly align at the very middle of the y-axis of the video, so it looks like it's all one frame when in reality it's two separate like shots but in the same video, cropped together to make it look like it's one like big like moving picture when in reality it's two that's split in half, one of them on the right, one of them on the left. It makes for a pretty seamless effect when like the camera doesn't move at all and the lighting is the exact same. It can be very seamless.
Yeah, that was embarrassingly bad. He knocked me the heck out.
So here they are just talking. This is so we got a shed. This is a separate building from the cabin. So we got like a cabin in the shed. The cabin is like some like other extra external like built mini house, but without any, but it's like off the grid completely. It's been more of a storage unit than anything else for a while, but then we got the shed, which is what this is, and it's nearby. In some of my videos, you may notice there's like a alleyway thing, like maybe in like United Split, you may notice that alleyway, or some of my other videos. One side of the alleyway makes up the garage of my house. The other one makes up the shed, which is a pretty big shed for a building, but yeah. It's like a tool shed. Pretty big one. So here they are about to fight, and I actually made a reference here to another like a short indie film that I heard of, and the only reason why I mentioned it is so it's like an Easter egg to the like indie horror game YouTuber called Pastra, and it was like a reference to as like a indie like, well, it's not even indie, it's just straight up like it's like a student project he made when he was like 5 years ago old or something like that, and it was called Crocodile Quinny, and there was originally like an extended scene of like Nick and Clout talking about like the short film video on YouTube thing where they mentioned Crocodile Quinny, but I thought I think it'll be more universal if I just leave it as the way it if I just left it as the way it turned out to be in the end for the movie it is now. So it could be more of a reference to the Sensei movies and not just a specific, like, oddly specific, like, no viewed YouTube, like, film series that someone else made. And the fighting style was sloppy on purpose. Yeah. It was supposed to be awkward. I tried to take my inspiration from like how little kids fight in like cartoon shows and stuff, like where they're just like flapping their hands and whatever at each other, not really hitting each other. I kind of took inspiration from that for some of those scenes, because in the end, you don't really see I mean, you do see me hitting myself, but like my arm or where my elbow is out of frame, giving the illusion it's another character hitting like a me or something like that. But you don't actually see two characters that play as me in this movie landing a hit on each other, and that is because I wanted to give it that feeling of like they're obviously not hitting each other, just missing each other and every punch. You know what I mean? Because look here, he's like Clout here obviously isn't hitting Nick at all. Same for vice versa. Okay, well that was a hit right there, but for the most part they don't hit each other. Sorry for that notification. Yes, I am in the My Little Pony Discord server. Do not judge me. We're cringe here, and that's okay. I just... Bro, I just literally got caught for being a brony on video. Oh my god. I'm not gonna redo this video again because this is like 54 minutes long, and this is meant to be like a unedited like behind the scenes director's cut thing. So whatever. I mean, most people know that anyway, but for all you new people, yeah, I'm cool like that. This right here, this is a reference to the second Sensei Nicker movie, and it's like based on like a gag. And when I saw it, I was like, okay, that's actually really good. I gotta include that in here. It would be like actually like criminal. It would be criminal if I did not add this scene right here in there. Like, it was one of the first like things I thought of when making this, when having the idea to make this movie. And there's the vision loss. You may notice right here, my hand, or like Clout's hand, obviously like he like got rid of Nick's vision, right? So obviously it would be bleeding. But in mind, I didn't want this like movie to have like a higher like age rating or anything. So, well, I mean, YouTube videos don't have age ratings really, but like I feel like it would just be better if like and more fitting for the vibe of the movie if like it wasn't real blood or like corn syrup or anything like that. Or like real fake blood or anything like that. So we do have real fake blood that I am gonna be using for some future projects right now. I like got it a few weeks ago, but like I used jam instead because I wanted to keep it like G rated or G/PG rated. It's worse than I imagined. After looking back at this footage right here, I saw that the eye twitching and the creepy smile was a bit too much, but whatever, it's fine. Like, this part right here dragged on for too long. I think it should have just ended before the eye started twitching. Because it doesn't really make sense for Clout to be smiling like that evilly. Well, I mean, he could have shell shock from that, which I guess could be like a fan-made explanation or something like that, if there ever is one. But that'll just be my retcon explanation or something like that. But yeah, it really should have just ended halfway through that, because when it showed him evilly smiling, it doesn't connect with the rest of the movie, because Clout doesn't really have any actual evil intents in this movie at all, or anything, or the plot or anything, and it's all Nick just wanting revenge on something that was an accident. So Nick is the villain, no one else. Dude, that notification was a jump scare. That was crazy. I got exposed. Holy crap. I mean, to be fair, I'm literally wearing an Owl House shirt, playing as Nick, who is the main character. And every other character has like a FNAF shirt on. The vampire cape that the older Sensei wears, that is like dirt old. I actually had that since 2015, I think. But we had it for even longer than that. Hell knows how old that thing is. I only I think it was like well, not a hand-me-down. I just kind of like found it, and then there was like one like Halloween where I was like dressed up as like a vampire. I think I think it was 2015, maybe 2016, 2015. I was a vampire on that Halloween, and it was like some Halloween party we had at my house. So, yeah, it was fun. It was a one-time thing. And also part of the older Sensei, his staff is like a plastic metal broom. So what that's about? So you may notice during the "I'll make a man out of you" part, I bent it, and that's not mine. I didn't buy it. My dad did. So I am surprised he has not said anything about that yet. Either that, or I did a ridiculously good job at welding it back. And by welding, I mean bending. I bent it back straight, but still has a massive dent in it. You'll see here in about a minute and a half where that happens. And that wasn't supposed to happen, but it did, and it turned out to be a happy accident for the movie. And because of the cause of me like breaking bending the broom, I added like a little gag scene where like Nick with the headphones is like, "Hey, I broke this. Have it back." And the Sensei grabs it, and it's like, "You broke my staff, man."
Rather slow. He'll get up there someday. It just takes some stuff. All that stuff will take.
Another iconic reference. Another reason why I want to make this. Once again, it would be criminal if I did not add that trailer right there.
Make a man out of you.
Obviously, it's a montage, so you're required to have some push-ups and pull-ups in here somewhere. And no, I did not actually hurt my knee. That was scripted. I just fall. I just casually like fall sideways. With the hand coming out, that's like signaling like the next trial or the next like training thing. And it's like a reference to in Kung Fu Panda. There's like this part, or like somewhat of not really a montage scene, but kind of a montage scene, where Master Shifu is like really annoyed with Po being included as the Dragon Warrior. So he does a snap with his fingers as like a transition for Po to face off against one of the Furious Five members in a challenge. That's what the little arm extend out thing was a reference to. Okay, right here. You okay? You can tell, okay, right here. Yeah, you can tell I bent it, and I was like, oh no, my dad's gonna kill me. And this right here, this is an added scene after I realized I bent it, and I was like, hey, I can improv this. So this scene was not really in the script or anything. I just kind of added it. And also, you may notice my cat throughout the entire movie, and she wasn't supposed to be there, but she kind of just was on accident. But it was a happy accident again, because it makes sense for the post-credit scene where Clout is alive again by his magic cat. His magic cat healed him, and he's alive. So, and I think that leaving some of the takes where it was just Lilu, my cat, in there, as like a mild foreshadow to the post-credit scene. And I thought, hey, you know what? Yeah, that's kind of cool. I wasn't gonna like take out the footage with Lilu in it, but after seeing that the meaning of that could be foreshadows is like, hey, that's a cool idea. That's a cool idea. Sensei is was looking down because I recorded that during like takes of Sensei. Nick was saying my training is complete in like previous takes, right? Because you know how I said earlier I did this, like almost none of this is the first take. Sometimes some like takes would not match up with others when it's like me talking to myself as other characters. So sometimes you may notice that maybe a character's looking a different direction than they should be when they're talking to a character, if you get what I'm trying to say. Because like they're supposed to be interacting with another take of another character that ultimately didn't make the cut and instead was a previous or later version. That part where my mouth just went suddenly from a happy face to frown was last minute, and it was like the last thing I did with this movie after everything. Like, it was literally the last thing I added in before I pressed export and Premiere and stuff like that. And that was to like have like a smoother but still very quick, like ridiculously comedically quick transition from like Nick being very joyful and happy to just a bloodlust for no reason. Yeah, originally that was not in there, and I just thought adding that silly little happy face to like happy mouth to frowning mouth as like a very simple, effective, quick transition. And still very fast-paced to keep up with the goofiness. I feel like the doing your mom thing just fits Clout, so I chose that. And it also gave me an excuse to do that. Croissant. I saw the movie Mickey 17 recently, and I thought it was alright. It wasn't a great movie, but it was alright. But it did have the one pretty badass, like, moment in it, though, that I think is more peak than most moments in every other action movie. And that is when Mickey 18 was out in the... This isn't really a spoiler or anything, I'm just gonna say what happens here, but it's not really a spoiler. But there's a Mickey 18, that is out in the snow planet, and, he has a machete, and he's, like, gonna... he's like preparing to slice someone or something to bits, and he does this like really cool, like almost slow-mo but not really slow-mo, like jump, and it looks like he's about to attack, but then he gets blocked off last second. I wanted to like as soon as I saw that scene, I was like, holy crap, that's really freaking cool. I gotta remake that in some parody movie or something like that. And that parody movie ended up being a Sensei Nick in Training, so that's where I included that scene in too. I also thought of making like a pixel gun movie in the far future, but I'm not sure if that's ever gonna get developed or not because it's pretty complicated. Where a bunch of people are in the knife like arena, a map or whatever, and one of the guys would do the Mickey 17 thing. Also, I'm gonna say this now before I forget. You probably, if you're on the Discord server, in my Discord server, you know about this already, but if you're just casually watching this, you literally have no idea. I am gonna have a cliche where I'm gonna include, like, as many Akira slide references to all my projects as much as possible. So it's like one Akira slide, thing, per project. So the first time I did that was, Black Sheep, the Black Sheep music video, Sprunky. when Gray and Winda are fighting in the end in the cave, right? And while Winda's like rapidly transforming between different forms to confuse Gray, Gray does the Akira slide, but not on the motorcycle, but just with his hand and the rest of his body, but his body kind of looks like a motorcycle when he's sliding. I made a reference to that in the I mentioned that in the behind the scenes Sprunky Black Sheep video. I think I did, but I'm not sure. I may not have. Fact check me on that. But the second time I included the Akira slide, also a reference to, I guess, Batman the Dark Knight, is when Clout is on the bike, and he just does the slide. And I'll talk more about that slide when it happens, because that was a nightmare to film. But, yeah.
I got the most special thing. Goggles are yet to become sunglasses.
Headbutt. Did the high heel kick right there. And then Clout is running.
Oh, my illusions to the sky. You once were a vegan, and now you will be dead.
That's a Scott Pilgrim reference. I have a weird amount of Scott Pilgrim references in this movie, and that's because I was filming this when I was like in the hyperfixation of Scott Pilgrim. I still somewhat am, but transitioned back to MLP for a little bit right now, so I'm in my MLP phase right now. I have a lot of fandom phases, but hey, I'm like that, so yippee. The original line for what Nick said was from Scott Pilgrim was when Scott was looking down at Todd Ingram, who's the third evil X, and he says, "You once were a vegan, but now you will be gone." But I misdid the line on purpose to make it even more like cringy or like cringe culture kind of vibey. So I said as Nick, "You once were a vegan, and now you will be," and you think I'm gonna say be gone, but I actually say be dead, which makes it twice as funny. You get what I'm saying?
I am a very skilled professional, and nothing has ever beaten me but...
I don't know why, but the way my eyes look there kind of disturbs me. Like when I'm just laying there like that, I don't know why, but just seeing my eyes like look up away from the camera like that, and you can just see my pupils, it kind of disturbs me a little bit. I don't know why. Like I look like some like not sentient frog. Yeah, beaten me so much that I am dead. Dead! Oh wait, frick, that's the wrong instrumental. Wait, how'd it go again? Never mind. Okay, so this scene. Okay, there was one part where like the slide in particular. Like I've been training this for like 2 or 3 days, just to do this scene in real life. I thought I was never gonna master it, so I had to like poorly like PNG crop myself on the bike to do the slide, but it turns out I didn't because I did it well enough where I thought it was at least okay. I could have done it a lot better. I could have done it like stunt professionally good, but nah. So basically when I was doing the Akira slide, I had to watch like a freaking like YouTube tutorial on how to like do a simple drift. But I did like not 4, I was gonna say 40, but I was like, no, that's way too many. I did like somewhere between 7 to 15 takes of me just doing this shot right there. And that shot where I did that slide right there ended up being the final one. It's still not great, because I don't ride bikes often, or motorcycles or anything like that. I just play the motorbike games, and that's it, but, I think, but that was the best I did compared to all the other ones. I remember my worst one, and that was where for some reason I blinked out, and I did not turn it on, and I just, like, kept going, and then into the yard, and I just stopped still upright. I basically just went straight forward past the camera doing nothing. Okay, so that scene, that part where Clout says, where Clout lifts his shirt up to reveal he was wearing a Nick shirt, the reason I did that is because I wore the wrong shirt on the wrong character on accident, and I did not feel like remaking those scenes, so instead, I just made it so in the storyline, for some weird reason, Clout has the same shirt as Nick, but I guess he didn't want to know that, so he just wore the blue Freddy Fazbear shirt over it, or something. Yeah. So that's a simpler way to break continuity error. Also, another thing with that scene, when he was lifting the shirt up, the first take I done was on accident, where I lifted my shirt up, but I meant to show the shirt that was underneath, but instead I accidentally grabbed both shirts, and I just showed my stomach. And, what ended up being in the final take was my best recreation of that. So that was not the first attempt, that was like the 7th. That made it in. And I tried to nail it perfectly with like the funny part where I'm trying to like scour the phone to like turn off the camera or something like that. So like when I wanted the shot to have it show my stomach flawlessly, and you can see my shocked face, and then you see the camera turn around and you can hear me trying to like desperately turn the camera off. And that was just, I did my best to recreate that from the first take, which was accidental. But the reason why I didn't use the first take, and I instead used the recreated version of it, is because the first take didn't actually get my stomach, but got everything else. So I was like, you know what, I'll show some more skin to make it more funny. We'll do that.
Worthless type of person can do. They just try their best. And if you try your best, you can do anything you want. Even if it breaks the law. Well, that's kind of stupid.
I'm not sure where I got this from. I think it may have been an ASDF movie reference, but I'm not entirely sure. And the reason why I say I'm not entirely sure is because I know I've heard that from somewhere. Seems kind of stupid if you ask me. And then the slap. I know I've heard or seen that from somewhere before, in some form of context, but I'm not sure if I, like, if I did it the accurate way to how it was originally presented from whatever original material was from. And I don't remember if it was, where that came from. But I think it may have been ASDF movie, but I'm not sure.
I will make sure that you will never harm
It's one of those, naturally, like, programmed, like, vocal stems that are in my head. Oh yeah, so I actually so in this whole movie you may notice I'm actually using a real screwdriver. And I originally had it where I was gonna have like tape covering the tip of it so I don't impale myself, because the first time when I was using a screwdriver for a fight like this, it felt dangerous. I actually felt like I was gonna die, but it turns out the chances are very low you can impale yourself with one as long as you're careful fighting aggressively with one, so yeah. And I didn't learn there were like very cheap prop screwdrivers that look exactly like real metal ones that are made of plastic for cheap until after I finished making the movie. So, but hey, at least I made it look as authentic as possible, so yeah.
Take those stupid headphones off right now.
Sensei Nicker, you mustn't harness the powers of your sensei-ness. You mustn't harness the powers to defeat Clout. Pronto. That's my motto. Okay, so I forgot to add one thing in the credits, and that was to put the song Black Sheep in the credits, because the sound that was used for when Sensei Nicker uses the force to force shove the screwdriver into Clout to send him falling. That was part of like the guitar strums, or like the da 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 da, that part of Black Sheep where it goes like, hello again, friend of a friend, I knew you win, da 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 da, like was that part, but I was like, I slowed it down by like 4%, or like by times 4, times 4, that's right. So it sounded more like da, so it sounded like how it did in the movie. But I did end up crediting, I did remember to credit the other force push sound that Sensei uses like later in the movie, in like a few minutes when he's fighting his dad, to like activate the car to ram him over. And that was the opening like synth sound to what was the song called? It was the Weezer song that goes like da 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 da. Oh wait, I just threw out the Love of My Dreams. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It was the opening synth to that, the opening square waves. Mom actually held the camera in that one shot alone. That was the only time she was the camera person. And I did credit her as the camera woman. Also, another thing about the end credits, I actually spelled Aaron's name wrong, or Mr. Adams' name wrong. I don't know what I should call him, because I'm like out of school now, and I'm 18. Well, no, I'm not out of school yet, but I'm about to be. I'm 18, but he is no longer my one-on-one, and he doesn't even go to that school anymore. So, I think I can respectfully just call him Aaron now. I'm not sure, but, I think I could always just call him, like, Aaron if I wanted to, but it wouldn't have been formal, because we were in school, like 2 years ago or something, or like a year or 2 years ago, so, I think I can just call him Aaron now if I wanted to, but I'll still call him Mr. Adam, like, just out of respect, you know what I mean? But yeah, I got his name wrong in the end credits. I spelt his name wrong because I spelt his name as A-R-O-N when I should have spelt it as A-A-R-O-N. Yeah. But whatever, I'm sure I'm sure that's one of the most, like, lawful mistakes of this movie, because I think he did say at one time that his name does get confusing. Cause, like, every name in his, like, all his 3 names are first names, which is kind of funny. Like, what are the chances of that, you know what I mean? Like, all due respect, but why would someone, like, call their kid, like, why would someone, like, or name their kid, like a first name 3 times. You know what I mean? I was originally gonna have like an additional scene where it shows the dad actually grabbing the screwdriver without his hand and just already being on it. But I was like, it's a small detail. The implication is there. It's fine. I don't need that extra thing in there. The video's starting to lag. I need to upload it before it gets corrupted. So, yeah.
But you're evicted from life.
I still think that's a pretty hard line. I'm actually surprised. No one said anything about that line. You're evicted from life. I also was thinking about putting, like, the Lego death sound in there, with the car hitting, the dad, but I was tired, that day, and it was, like, the last day of production, and I was like, I just want to upload it already, so I uploaded it without second thinking anything, and that's, why there's no Lego death sound there, but is it missed opportunity? Maybe, but it's a small little detail, so whatever. And we got Nate Wants to Battle in here. Nightmare. It's pretty good for a FNAF song. Like, this is one of those, like, FNAF songs and one of those, like, fandom songs where if you didn't tell anyone the context it was a fandom song, they would just think it's a normal song. You know what I mean? And I like songs like that. And that's the end. That is, Sensei Knicker, in training. Yeah. Yeah, that is Sensei Knicker. So we are gonna show the end credits and everything and all that, but I pretty much talked about everything I wanted to initially. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of stuff, well, not a bunch of stuff I left out, but maybe a couple things, but you don't need to know everything, you know what I mean? You just gotta know whatever I say here right now. Because that's how director's commentaries work. You just record them once, and if a mistake is in there, then it's left in there, you know what I mean? I love this song. It's awesome. It's like one of my favorite songs, like, at all. Like, if this wasn't a FNAF song, I would still enjoy it as much as I do. Oh yeah, and please do check out Batmanic and his Sensei Knicker series. It's actually funny. The first one is a very short film. It's like 24 minutes, and it's basically about some guy who's trying to find a legendary sensei who's like this like urban legend. The second one is basically about the guy and the sensei having to take down Clout and the Tyrant, but it's a very climatic battle in the funniest way possible. And the third one is actually genuinely pretty decent, for like being like a movie that takes itself seriously. So yeah, here's the end scene. This is where Clout's magic cat comes in. Magic cat. Lilu is like she's the runt of like a pack of litter, and we got her when she was like 2 weeks old in like 2018 November. So that makes her what, like 6 or something like that now? 7, 5, 6, 7, something like that. But yeah, she's like halfway through her life, and I think that's kind of crazy because I remember getting her and she was like no more than the size of my hand. Hey, Night Cove the Fox, I hadn't seen you in a while. So yeah, that is, the Sensei Knicker movie, that I made. I feel like I have a reputation for making movies that are, like, fan-made based, and I will continue on that scene. That's definitely a scene that's continuing, because, as you know, I'm, or at least you probably know, that I'm making, like a audiobook soon, on my channel, where it's about, damn. my throat got congested for a second. Sorry. Where it's like about where it's like a My Little Pony like spin-off thing where it's doubles as an MLP fanfic as well as a fanfic to the Neverending Story. I'm not kidding. It goes there with like the nothing and stuff like that. It gets pretty meta. And then the other thing I got coming up relatively soon is Murder Drones, foreign user. And yeah, that's all for the recent stuff. And I also got some original projects outlined too. So yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on those occasionally. But I will be sticking to what I like doing slightly more than like scheduled projects. So I will make more time for things I want to do in the moment rather than like what's scheduled on the list. So yeah, things can change. So yeah, whatever. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.